this will be the first class of 2022. Okay, for the Tao Te Ching, chapter 64. It's 64 is a relatively long chapter. I think it's the fourth longest chapter in the whole classic. So we're gonna do it in two parts. Okay, here's the you guys can see the screen, right? This is the overview. Okay, its title is to supplement, assist, or complement things. Okay, so that's fu wu, right? That's the literal translation. Okay, I mean, and it's okay. Well, we'll see what it means. It'll become clear at the very end. But okay, it's a relatively long chapter. It has, like I said, it has really 4 parts. I mean, well, yeah, it's actually 3 parts with like 2 subdivisions in the first 2 sections. Okay, so the first section, we'll probably just do the first section and probably the first half of the first section, and maybe touch upon the second section. Okay, so that's the first section. It's divided into 2 sections. Subdivided into 2 sections. Okay, so it's talking about the natural rhythm of things, or the natural, rhythm. Yeah, you can say rhythm, harmony. Actually, it talks about harmony too. But anyway, okay, and then and there's a famous phrase in here. Okay, in the first section, or the section 2B of section 1. Okay, and then there's the second section, which is kind of like, say, yeah, it's the analysis. Okay. Further divided into 2 sections, once again 2 parts. Okay, so that's line through phrase 20. Okay, so it's 13 to 20, and then the last section is the conclusion. Okay, which is 26 phrases 20 to 21 to 26. Okay, all right. Okay, so all right, so just for the overview. Okay, just understand that the first section, which is phrases 1 to 12, okay, it's talking about certain virtues of the Tao. Okay, some, you can say, qualities or virtues of the Tao. It's really the virtue of the early. It's early. It's talking about being early, or doing things, or dealing with things before they get messy or get complicated. Okay, or doing things when it's minor, dealing with matters when it's minor, when it's not a major matter now. Okay, when it's minor, or dealing with things before it gets any bigger. Okay, or okay, all right. So that's the virtue of being early, of doing things early, of you can say, okay, of early. And then phrases 7 to 12. It's the virtue of the small. So it's virtues. So the first section, because this is a it's a subdivision or whatever. It's virtue of being early and doing things small, of when things are still small. Okay, the virtue of that. And then the second section, which is phrases 13 through 20th, which is here. 13 through 20th, it's 2 sections. One says or subdivided into 2 parts. All right, part A and B of section 2. It's the virtue of what? Of being detached. So that's the analysis right here, the virtue of being detached. And then there's the conclusion. Okay, so now you guys know. Okay, so let's start with our outline. Okay, all right, so here it is, the first 4 phrases. It is easy to maintain, or to keep things the way it is when it is peaceful. Okay, it is easy to plan when it shows no signs. It is easy to break when it is fragile. It is easy to scatter when it is small. Well, that's quite a few phrases. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's what it's first 4 phrases. It's 2 lines. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go to the basic meaning. It just means that first, I'm talking about first phrase now, just the first 4 characters. Okay. Okay. It's easy when things are calm, right? When things are still calm, things are you can say peaceful, quiet, calm. Okay, it is easy to maintain peace. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's almost like tautological, right? Yeah. So all right. So it's easy to maintain that state. Okay. Now it's a state of calm or state of peace, etc. Okay. It's easy. All right. When things is calm. Okay. Another meaning is this. Now you can look at it conversely. Okay. It's when things are chaotic, then it is difficult to restore peace. Okay. So it's almost like in physics. Well, yeah, in physics, when they say, when things are in what can I say? When things are, momentum. When there's just a certain momentum, right? That I think it's easy. I mean, it's difficult. When things, how can I say? When there's an object that it's gaining speed or velocity. Speed, okay, or momentum. We said momentum. It is hard to stop it. Okay, all right. So it's the same idea. Okay, all right. So when things become chaotic, violent, messy, etc., then it's difficult, right, to maintain peace, to restore peace. Okay, so another additional understanding is after matters arise, the calm will disappear. Then it is difficult to hold on to tranquility. Okay, so this is getting a little bit more generic, more general. Okay, as it actually, also refers more to our inner self, inner, when we start having thoughts, or thoughts, ideas, whatever, notions, etc. Then our calm, it's this sense of quiet, or it's gone. There's a disturbance, in our mind. Then it is difficult to hold on to the tranquility, which is the tranquil state of our Buddha nature. Okay, that's another way. Okay, so further understanding is before things appear, we can all be on the lookout for them. This way, it is easy to maintain peace. This means prevention is easier than the cure. Okay, so that's the you can say the lesson of this, or the key point understanding of this first phrase. This just means that prevention is better than the cure. Okay, always try to preempt as opposed to attempt to cure something, or to correct or do or right something once there's momentum, once there's disturbance, once there's chaos. Okay, so it's hard to do that, right? Okay, it's harder to attempt to stop something as to prevent something. Okay, look at diseases, same thing, right? Okay, so anyway, right, there's a saying, right? Prevention, what's that? Prevention is a pound of cure. An ounce of prevention is a pound of cure, right? Something like that, right? Okay, all right, let's go to the second phrase, which is, okay, it is easy to plan when it shows no sign. What does that mean? Okay, no signs. Okay, so basic meaning is when things have not yet appeared, okay, have not yet happened, okay, or manifested, then it's easy to plan for changes because it's still abstract, right? It still hasn't happened, right? So it's easy, right? So yeah, so when things haven't happened yet, yeah, you can plan for things. You can plan. Everything is, I guess, abstract, theoretical, right? Everything, you have options, right? You have a lot of options, right? Okay, another way of saying is conversely, when things already happen, then it is difficult to plan for the change after things happen, right? Yeah, because when things happen, then, you can say options, are more limited, right? It's been, or become reduced, right? When things happen, right? Becomes reduced, right? Things, so, okay. So another way of saying is when there are no signs of things happening, things are very easy to plan for, okay? So that's what, it also happens internally too. So once we have, if we still don't have any thoughts yet, we can, the possibilities are almost endless, right? Because you haven't had a thought yet, or an idea, hasn't gelled yet, or when concepts, haven't really formed yet, right? The possibilities are endless. Okay. So it is not easy to change plans when things have already happened. Okay, that's the thing, right? even when you have ideas, right? When you have an idea, when you have a concept, once it becomes firm, right? It becomes firm. I mean, it could lead to, it becomes fixed, right? So it is difficult to get around. So that's how we get, people become stubborn, obsessed, right? Ideology, that's how ideology comes, right? Because ideologies are very firm, right? You have a very, I don't know, firm, you can say concrete, notion, right? Concept, etc., right? Then it's difficult, right? To change that type of, we say doctrine, or, that type of thinking, that type of, okay? So same idea, okay? So that's, all right? Okay, so let's go to the third phrase. What's the third phrase? It means when it is easy to break when it is fragile. Okay, so the basic meaning is of the second line, that's the third phrase, beginning of the third phrase, is it is easy to break up or scatter something when it's still flimsy and small, right? When things are small, let's look at external objects, right? When things are very tiny, right? Like, example, you have a huge piece of rock, right? I mean, I think it's hard to break that rock, right? Because it's big, right? It's big, it's firm, solid. But if you could break it up into smaller pieces, then, but if you could, consider a big rock versus tiny rocks, okay, which one is easier, right? Which one's easier to break and scatter and move? Obviously, the smaller, okay? All right, so what that's a metaphor. These are, external metaphors. When things still have not consolidated, then they fall apart easily, okay? Become firm, concrete, right? When things still have not yet firmed or gelled or become concrete, then, it's still easy to fall apart or dismantle, etc. Okay, so before things have taken shape and solidified, they are easy to disperse. So just like, remember I mentioned about ideas and concepts, right? When ideas and concepts still have not yet taken shape or become, firm, concrete, then they're easy to scatter, to break up, right? Okay, so it's not that difficult, right? Okay, so further understanding is this means to take care of a problem when it's still small. That's the external side. When you're taking, when problems just started, just have started in their early stages, to develop in the early stages, it's better to take care of that now, or as soon as you detect a problem, an issue, rather than to wait. I mean, let's look at health. Okay, I'm talking about external now. Okay, look, health, right? When you detect, right, all the doctors in the world would urge us, it's true for almost all diseases. I mean, especially in cancer, right? When you have the early detection of cancer, it's better to take care of it then than to wait, right? Let it, what's that? The term is metastasize, right? Okay, then spread, okay, to other, areas, other cells, etc., right? So it's always better, okay? Now, this is the external, okay, big problem. So take care of problems when they're small in the, okay. Internally, it's also same with us, okay? So if we have what we say, if you started cultivating, right? You always hear, this big 8 words, 改毛病去脾气, right? To correct, you can say to correct, right? Correct our faults, or faults, and to get rid of our bad temper. So once we all detect, or let's say once we learn, maybe sometimes we don't know we have defects, or faults, or bad temperament, etc. But if we know that we have them, it's easier to correct them or get rid of them when they are still in their early stages, right, of development. Once it's ingrained, it becomes concrete, solid. It becomes what? Part of our character, we call it. Part of our character, right? Part of our personality, character. That this person has a bad temper, or this person has a loud mouth, or whatever, okay, or this person is a gossiper, who loves to stab people in the back, etc., etc. Once it becomes ingrained in you, habit, right, becomes a habit, then it's much more difficult to resolve. Isn't that true, right? So that's the whole idea, okay? So that's the more internal side. So the true tranquility comes from within us. If you have it, you can be calm and peaceful, no matter how chaotic things are inside and outside. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to 2 stories. Maybe I'll just do this story. Okay, all right. Okay. Okay. So that's the deeper understanding. It just means that everything comes within our Buddha nature. Actually, that's what it means. Okay, because what is the state of our Buddha nature? Right? Our Buddha nature is essentially what we say wu wei. Yeah, that's true. In Tao Te Ching, that we say wu wei, which means non-conditioned. Okay, it's naturally very okay. Yeah, it's pure. That's true. Okay, pure, but it's very calm, unperturbed state. Okay, okay. That's the unperturbed state. Okay, and that's the natural state of our Buddha nature. Okay, and no matter what the external surroundings are like, or the environment or whatever, it could be full of noise, chaos, lights, flashing lights, glitter and everything. But the Buddha nature is still unmoved, unperturbed, or non-influenced by that. Okay, that's the key. All right. So it's like the eye of the storm. Okay. All right. Okay. So once upon a time in ancient China, there was an emperor, governing China, a big a big nation, or they don't call it nation, but a big empire. Okay, and there are lots of issues, and the emperor is always very busy, busy dealing with matters of governance. And because maybe of the weight on his shoulders, he often felt very disturbed, very weary, okay, disturbed, tired, etc. of of governance, okay, of the burden of governance, okay, of ruling. So one day, and he wanted to, calm, he wanted to find out a way, a method, okay, to have him stay calm, remain calm, because, that's the best way to govern a state, right? A kingdom, okay, an empire, okay, you cannot be rash, right? He understood you can't be rash, you cannot be impatient, you cannot, act just on impulse, right? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so he understood that. Okay, so he wanted to find out a way how to remain calm and tranquil within him as he is making, important decisions about governing and ruling the empire. Okay, so he asked his chief advisor, a wise old man, asked him, I wanted to have something that that will always remind me of keeping calm, keeping tranquil inside me as I am going about making decisions, on ruling the empire, okay, and governing the state, the empire. So here's what I was thinking. Can you find somebody who can paint a beautiful painting that will help me to stay calm and quiet in my office as I am, deciding on matters of the empire. Okay, so the minister, who's supposed to be wise, said, "Yes, Your Majesty. I think that is a very good idea, and I will, handle the matter right away. I will find the 3 greatest artists or painters of the empire and have them paint a mural, big picture, big painting, for you to help you, remind you to remain calm as you are, going about the business of ruling the empire." So the minister left and went about searching for 3 of the greatest art painters, okay, of the empire, and invited them to the palace, and gave them the following instructions, saying, "Your responsible, your duty is to paint a painting that best exemplifies being peaceful, being in a state of, tranquility, peace. Okay. So the three painters, they understood that. So they each set about, painting their mural. Okay. Let's see. I forgot what the first. Okay. So the first painter painted I think it was I forgot the exact details because this is kind of a long story. But anyway, painted a scene of, I think there was of a storm, okay, of a storm, of a, let's say, of a heavy rainstorm. Okay, I think it's a rainstorm. Yeah, it's not a, okay, all right, and showed it to the minister. Oh, well, okay. So each of the painters, and then so let's say after a few weeks, they were all done. After a few weeks or a few days, okay, the three painters were each done with their paintings. So then the minister asked them, to present it to the emperor. And so the first painter displayed a storm. Okay, I think it was a heavy rainstorm or something, and showed it to the emperor. The emperor looked at it, but he wasn't, he didn't display any. He didn't have any. How can I say? Any judgment. He didn't find any judgment. He just looked at it, but he still didn't feel any calm. And the minister explained to the emperor that, this is, this painter painted the scene to show that, the trees or the leaves are still unaffected by the rain. Okay, it still remain where they are. Okay, so that's the thing. But the emperor replied, "Yeah, I still don't get it. Don't feel, don't have that strong sense of calm yet." Okay, yeah, it's a nice painting, but he still. So the minister agrees, say yes, Majesty. It doesn't seem to convey or to invoke in you that notion of tranquility or calm, even though the painting tried to display that, right? Showing that the leaves or the grass still stay, remain where they are despite the heavy rain. Okay, all right. So then he dismissed the first one. He says, okay, all right. Let's go to the second painting. I think it's even more interesting. Okay, so now the second painting by the second artist was a display of a heavy snow. After snow. It showed that even though the trees maybe are covered with the lots of snow and the stuff, but it still remains standing. The trees still did not. They may have bent, but they have not been. How can I say? Not covered, but they are covered, but not. How can I say? Toppled over by the snow and outside. It's after a heavy snowstorm. Okay, so the king, the emperor looked at it and still didn't get that sense of tranquility or inner peace. So the minister said, "Oh, yes, I'm sorry, my emperor. This painter, I think he's new. Maybe he didn't get the idea. So yeah, he just showed, a snowstorm just passed by and the trees still remain where they are, et cetera, et cetera. But maybe that's not good enough." And the emperor responded, "Yeah, I still don't have that sense of calm yet." Okay, so the minister said, "Okay, sorry. Let's go to the last painter. It's very interesting." And now the minister hasn't seen the last. I mean, so kind of get the idea. Was kind of not at a loss, but was feeling very a little bit disappointed that it seems that none of these artists can portray a scene that will remind or have the emperor still feel that sense of calm and tranquility by looking at the painting. So the third painting was a painting of a waterfall. A waterfall coming down, tumbling down, tumbling down into the bottom, to the I think to the river or to the lake, lake, and and showing that the water were swirling, beneath the waterfall, being disturbing, the spray, right? The spray of the water, hitting the pond or the lake. I'm sorry, and then showing the surrounding trees around the lake, the edge of the lake, et cetera, and showing some birds nearby and animals nearby. Okay, when the ministers saw that painting, and after the reaction of the emperor for the first two paintings, he was very disheartened, because he thought, oh my God, this is even worse. The emperor will definitely not enjoy this painting. So he quickly turned to the emperor and say, oh, apologize, I'm sorry, Your Majesty. Apparently this painting of the waterfall and the disturbance of the water, etc., and the spray that it's really not conveying an image of tranquility or calm. Okay, but then the emperor was really interested in the painting. He says, oh, no, not at all. You see, yes, there may be a waterfall, plunging down into this lake, spraying the water, disturbing the lake, the water of the lake, etc. And but you notice that he also painted, the painter also painted some animals nearby, the trees nearby, and on one of the trees there was a nest of a bird, sitting in a nest, undisturbed, unperturbed, being very calm. Okay, unperturbed, with in spite of the waterfall, the roar of the waterfall, and the disturbance, the spray of the water, coming from it, he still remained. Goes, yes, I like this. It showed that the emperor said, I really could identify this, because I could be like that bird. In spite of all the chaos, the noise, the disturbance of the waterfall on the lake, etc., yet I can remain very calm and undisturbed despite the surrounding. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, so the end of the story. Sorry it took so long, but anyway, actually the story goes longer, but anyway, it's the whole idea that, that calmness, just like the emperor understood, that, the sense of calm, peace, tranquility, non-disturbance, right? And it's all from within, even though the external surroundings may not be, right? Could be totally chaotic. Okay, so that's the idea. So that's what I was trying to get to. The higher level is that the true state of tranquility within each of us is our Buddha nature essence that is non-conditioned and unperturbed. So all issues or matters can be managed, changed or planned, dispersed or dissolved, resolved, dispersed, scattered, okay, through the arrangement of our Buddha nature, which manifests as the divine wisdom. Okay, so that's the key. All right, so we don't have to have thoughts to keep calm. No, it's not that. It's not to have those thoughts. Okay, we'll get to a little bit that later, that concept, but of Buddhism. Okay, but it's everything is, if we can remain calm, that's the key. If we can remain peaceful, okay, like that state, like our Buddha nature state, that's its natural state. Okay, that in the Taoist Jing we would say wu wei. Okay, that's the non-conditioned. Okay, and then what comes out of that state? What comes out, which is that's why this is like almost counterintuitive. Okay, what comes out of that calm state, that natural, unperturbed, pure state, is what? Our divine wisdom, and that divine wisdom can resolve anything. Okay, can how can I say, can solve any matters. Okay, that's the key. All right. Okay, so the implication is when matters arise, when there is a loss of peace or tranquility, okay, then calm vanishes or tranquility vanishes. Okay, when there is peace and quiet, it's easier to have calm. Okay, that's the key. Okay, when it's quiet, non-disturbed. Okay, so when things are unsettled, that's when things get disturbed or things started fermenting, right? Then it becomes more difficult to maintain tranquility. When things have not happened yet, then they have signs that something is about to happen. There are harbingers, hints, okay, signs, signs of things to come, okay. When think or portend, things that will portend, we got that. Anyway, okay, doesn't matter. Okay, so when things already appeared, then it will not be easy to change them. Okay, so when problems are still small, it is easier to handle them. Similar to the expression "nip it in the bud," right? So this deals in the external, but everything it's also internal too in your mind. Okay, so all right, so here's the key: is when there is chaos, okay, or disturbance, or non-tranquility, okay, it is more difficult to maintain peace. So when things happen, it is not easy to prevent them, right? You can't prevent them because things already happened, okay? So before things happen, it is easier to change things, okay? When things still have not taken form and developed, or become concrete, gelled, become concrete, or solidify, they are easy to break apart. This means that in the material world, we should conform to the true principles. That is not to be contrary to the true principles. This requires awareness and perception to detect a potential obstacle when it is starting to form or before. So we can practice the virtue of prevention. Okay, so that's the key. Okay, virtue of being early, remember, prevention. Okay, generally, this is a great value in handling issues at the earliest stage of development. Okay, so this is on the external, the practical side. So it's similar to the expression, a stitch in time saves nine. I think that's your expression. Okay, so this first four phrases, actually two more right afterwards, is dealing with virtue of being early. Okay, so let's go there. Oops, let's go there. Oh, how come I can't? Okay, here it is. The virtue of early. Okay, so that's what the virtue of early. Okay, so let's call it the Tao of the early bird. Okay, all right. So here's the thing. Many people, unfortunately, most people wait till the last moment to get something done. Procrastination. That's like procrastination. We're all good at that. Okay, we're all very good at that. All right. So, okay. Now, there is a downside. Yeah. You can say so. That's the downside. I mean, procrastination may be good in the sense that you don't have to deal with the problems, right? You can say, oh, there's always tomorrow, there's always later, there's always more time, right? Deal with problems. Well, okay, so that's the maybe short term. You can say short term benefit, but actually there are some downsides to that. Okay, so here's a downside. First one is there's going to be a lot of stress as the deadline approaches. If you keep putting things off, right, until the deadline, until the 11th hour, then you're going to have stress. The stress is going to build up. All right. Okay. Second is once the deadline approaches, when we decide to take action, then it becomes a rush, right? We become we started rushing things as opposed to doing things early, right? Okay. So then if once we start rushing things, we don't see things clearly, or we cut corners, right? Cut corners, stuff like that. Then the probability of mistakes increases dramatically, right? That we can take missteps because we rushed. We didn't see all the options, or all whatever. Okay, all right. So all the potential pitfalls, etc. Okay, then the possibility of mistakes increase. And lastly is, well, this is just three. Okay, three of many potential negative things. You never get around to do certain important things in life that do not have deadlines. Okay, so that becomes it takes up it becomes an important issue, right? Once this matter nears the deadline, okay, or becomes much more solid, concrete, developed, etc., okay, then it takes your time, all the attention, right, to deal with that problem, and you're going to spend probably a longer time dealing with that, and so therefore, you have no more time to do things that may not have any deadlines. Okay. So we got to remember, as Tao cultivators, we should not procrastinate. we should practice getting things done early, right? So the earlier, the better, right? The early bird catches the worm, et cetera, right? Okay, all that, right? So the key is don't procrastinate. Don't put things off. Don't think that, oh, things are not, not yet on the radar screen. They're not, they're still underneath the surface. They haven't, appeared yet. Then I can deal with them. That's, waiting to the last moment. And may not be the wisest choice, okay, wisest path. So the key is to get things done early before because it's easier to deal with them. So now this deals mainly with, okay, more, on our internal cultivation, like, especially our own, not just thoughts, bad thoughts, but just habits, things are not habits necessarily, but like we can say we all have, our own faults. We say our own idiosyncrasies, likes and dislikes, stuff like that, okay, or biases. So we have to deal with them early, okay? Otherwise, it becomes habitual and becomes part of our nature or character, and that's more difficult, right? Once things become a habit, right? Just like example, smoking, right? When it becomes a habit, then it's extremely difficult to break, right? So that's the key, all right? Okay, so the Tao cultivators get very different results in life by not procrastinating. Okay, remember chapter 63, just a couple weeks ago, right? We talk about dealing with things, right, early on. Okay, all right. So okay, so that's that's appendix A. Let's see, I still have a few more minutes. Okay, you guys can see. Okay, good. All right, so let's go to the last two phrases of section 1 still, or 1A. It's act on it when it's not yet begun. Treat it when it's not yet chaotic. All right, so what does that mean? Okay, basic meaning is whatever things we do, we can anticipate things before they appear, and we should start right away. All right, that's what that, the very basic meaning is. So this phrase is a further extension of the previous four phrases about dealing with matters before they become bigger issues. Okay, this is on the external side. Okay, also internal too. Okay, right. So this is about knowing and understanding the situation when we do things and anticipating the likely outcomes. Okay, all right. So further understanding is now this more internal is by starting with the end in mind. Know what results you would like to see, then make preparations and take preemptive actions to bring about it. Okay, bring it about. Right. So that's okay. So internal is the same thing, right? So if we know that, hey, we maybe have a tendency to think certain things or to say certain things or whatever. Okay, so we have to be careful. Okay, we have to just to try to deal with it early. Don't just let things fly. Okay, all right. So or let our natural tendencies, okay, or human tendencies to continue. All right. Okay. So the second half is treat it when it's not yet chaotic. Okay. So basically it means this. Okay. So cultivators who follow traditional teachings do their work in a neat and organized manner, so things do not fall into a disorderly or messy. Okay. So that's a lot more external. Okay. By treating matters early, cultivators prevent matters from falling into a messy state. Okay. Now, this does not mean to obstruct the flow of things. Okay. So we don't, it's not, okay. It doesn't mean that, okay, like, oh, we can, block karma or whatever, or, block, thing. It doesn't mean that. It just means to work around it or to work with it. Okay. Like water. Okay. I mean, we'll get to that. Oh, shoot. Okay. We'll get to that in the next two chapters. I think chapter 65 will deal with that. But anyway, okay. So 65, 66 anyway. Okay. But it's to manage things to become less chaotic. It's just to manage, to deal with matters. By dealing with things early, we can prevent things from becoming chaotic and too messy. It just means managing it. It's not that you can necessarily, block things from happening. Okay, that's not the case. Okay, so it doesn't mean to do that. Okay, it just means to manage things more smoothly. Okay, or with to manage things so that it doesn't become a bigger issue. Okay, that's all. All right. Okay. So Now, people would say, yeah, didn't the Tao Te Ching say, to always to go with the flow? I think the Tao Te Ching say that, right? To flow with nature, right? Stuff like that, right? To bend with the wind or something like that, right? Didn't Tao Te Ching always say that? Okay, well, it doesn't mean yes, to flow with the flow, however, does not mean to let a situation become chaotic, okay, or go to the extreme. See, once things become chaotic, that's the extreme. And Tao Te Ching never advocates going to the extreme, right? We know that, right, from the previous chapters, right? It never advocates going to the extremes. Okay, so that's the key. Okay, so at times it may be necessary to go against the flow in order to prevent the situation from getting worse and from becoming chaotic and messy. Okay, so Tao Te Ching is very flexible in that, right? Just like water, it can flow around obstacles, right? Remember, right? Things like that, or it could seep through tiny cracks, right? Stuff like that. Okay, all right. So it's never going to the extreme. Okay, so that's why to go with the flow should not be interpreted as the extreme. Okay, as the extreme. It just means let things always be, right? Non-intervention, right? Stuff like that, right? Okay, so it's actually the middle path. Okay, it just means to manage things so that it does not get chaotic, okay, or become bigger. Okay, so it's this. So this section 1A, the first part A of section 1 is about dealing with issues or matters when the situation is calm, when they're not yet fully manifested, when they are still in development, right? When they are still small. By learning to anticipate and understanding the situation before it gets too chaotic, we can prepare and take action early to help bring about the results we would like. Okay, to manage it, to guide it, to nudge it, towards the goal that we want or toward the desired state. Okay, so when things become chaotic and messy, it does not mean it's a sign of creativity. Remember, we have, especially in the West, okay, Western, in the Western tradition, we always have, notions of say, people may be very messy, in appearance, chaotic, things are all over the place, but that's a sign of creativity. These artists or these great, I don't know, thinkers or whoever, they may be messy, like, you go to their house or whatever, everything is, all over the place, not, whatever. But yet they're very creative. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. Okay. So don't think of being messy or disorganized or disordered, okay, as creativity, because people would say, hey, look at nature. Nature is, disorganized. That's not true. Okay. That's an interpretation. It looks disorganized, but it's not. Okay. Actually, it has its own way. Okay. So we shouldn't jump to that conclusion. Okay. So here, okay. So it's most ideal to deal with issues before they become too messy. That's the key. Okay. It's that's the virtue of being early, right? The virtue of early. Okay. And then by dealing with things early, we can prevent them from becoming too big and too chaotic to deal with. Okay, that's the virtue of being small, of the small. Okay, so when we'll get there. This we haven't get there, but okay. But virtue of early for now. Okay, so when we act from our Buddha nature, we can anticipate things and deal with them before they become big and messy issues. So you want small progress that over time will deliver a grand result. Okay, so that's being the small part. This is we're leading to the next the part B of section 1, which is about small. Okay, actually there's also previous chapters we talk about small progress. All right, incremental small progress. Steady does it, right? Steady, tiny bits, tiny baby steps. Okay, also in chapter 64 we'll talk in 60 leads to the next section. Okay, so 64 is really it's really the sum of that. Okay, so of that idea of small and early. Okay, so you want to break through an obstacle when it's still small. So let's look at summary part A. Okay, so here's one major takeaway of chapter 64. Okay, so let's see, goes to 3. Okay, all right. So the first thing is early is good. Okay, so stressful free life. Okay, so that's doing things with little effort, right? Or less effort. Yeah, with little or less effort. Okay, so there are 3. I think there are 3. Yeah, there are 3. Okay. So early is good. Okay, so that's the virtue of early. Get an early start. So getting started early minimizes your stress. Yeah, right. You're not as stressful because you're still way ahead. You're ahead of the curve. That's the idea. Okay, get ahead. You're many steps ahead. Okay, so you're not waiting until the last minute to deal with any issue, right? So you don't have that much stress. You can, yeah, I would say you can take your time, but you have plenty of time. Let's put it this way. It's not that you have infinite time, but you have plenty of time to deal with something. Okay, so that's why early is good. All right. Okay, then when you detect potential problems early, right? Then detect potential problems early before they show up as small problems. Yeah. So once you detect that, hey, there's a potential for a problem, right? So you detect that problem early, then they won't become a small problem yet. Okay. They're still not, because they're still in development, okay, stage. Okay. So then you can give yourself the gift of time. So make it so that you are free from pressure and you can take your time to do it right. So you have plenty of time to deal with that potential problem or with that problem, okay? Because it still hasn't yet become a problem. All right, now small is good, okay? So I'm getting ahead a little bit, okay? That's the section B, part B of section 1. Okay, small is good. Mind the little details, okay? I think in previous chapters we talked about that too, right? So deal with small obstacles before they become entrenched, right? So just like our habits, I mean, not bad habits, but we have, faults, either traits, or characteristics, idiosyncrasies, right? Once they become fixed or become, how can I say, embedded, okay, becomes a habitual, that nature become habitual nature, it is much more difficult to develop, to deal with. So therefore, we have to deal with any problem when it's still small, right? Okay, so solve small problems before they become big problems, right? Okay, right? We talked about that too. Without difficulty, remember, right? Talked about that in 63. We talked about, I think, in 60 or 50, in the 50s, late in the 50s. Okay, all right. Okay. I think 57, I think we talked about that. All right. Okay. All right. 57, 50, yeah, you can say 56 too. All right. Okay. All right. So never ignore small issues, even if you think they are no big deal. So that's the key. All right. Because small issues can lead to bigger issues. So we have to, don't ignore them. We have to treat them. Okay. Get ahead of the curve. Okay. Okay. Number 3, order is good. Plan out your life. Okay. Yeah, there is order, not chaos. Okay. So, or disorderliness. Okay. So establish a peaceful and orderly state internally and externally. Okay. So within our minds, don't think crazy thoughts. Don't always constantly jump from one idea to the next. Let our thoughts go all over the place. All right. Okay. So that's the key. Or let our emotions, go all over the place. Right. We have to remain calm, remain peaceful. Okay. That's closer to our ideal Buddha nature state. Okay. Okay. That's really the state of Wu Wei. Okay. The ultimate state of, we say non-attachment. Yeah. Wu Wei. Yeah. It's non-attachment, just one aspect of Wu Wei. It just means calm, unperturbed, okay, non-conditioned, okay, not influenced, okay, affected by all the external factors, okay, all right, okay. So prevent and handle disruptions well in advance. So chaos never gets out of hand. So we have, this talks about, it's about managing things, okay, managing, okay, our own personal lives, managing our, thoughts, our feelings, emotions, etc. Okay, so that's managing our own kingdom on an individual level. On the external grand level, it's like managing a business, a society, a state, a country, a kingdom, etc. Okay, all right. We'll talk more about that. I mean, we talked about that in previous chapters, right? 60, 61, right? Okay. But also 65, 66 also deal with it, talks about too. Okay, so pick a quiet time in the morning to think about what the future holds. Write down whatever comes to mind. Yeah, it's like keeping a diary, but it just means that, because why in the morning? I mean, you can say at the evening and night before you go to bed, because the key is when it's quiet, it's when things have not yet happened. Okay, that's the idea. That's what morning would mean, that, that it's a new day, right? It's a fresh day, new day. So things have not yet happened. So you want to, stay peaceful, remain peaceful and calm, right? And look forward to the rest of the day, right? Okay, about how you want to deal with matters. Okay, so that's what it means. All right, so let's go to. Okay, let's return. All right. Okay, so we are already slightly almost an hour, right? I want to keep it short. It looks like, oh man, I only got through section. Let me just talk about section 2. The beginning, the first half of section 2, right? Which is oh geez, how can I? Okay, which is phrases 7 through 12. Okay, that's right here. Okay. Okay, 7 to 12, it's right here. So here's the thing. Okay, so this is now part 2 of section 1. Okay, a tree thick enough to embrace around it grows from the tiny sapling. A tower of 9 levels starts from an earth heap, or a heap of earth. Okay, a journey of 1,000 miles begins from beneath the feet. Okay, so this last phrase, or the last two phrases, okay, is a very well known. It's an extremely well known phrase of the Tao Te Ching. Okay, it's probably one of the most quoted aspects of Tao Te Ching. Okay, let me just introduce it, because I want to finish this. Okay, as soon as possible. Give me 10 minutes, maybe less. Okay, all right, I can finish it in less than 10 minutes. Okay, so basic meaning of the first line, which is what? What's the first line? It's a tree thick enough to embrace. Okay, thick enough to embrace around it grows from a tiny sapling. Okay, so that means it's a large tree that you can embrace with both arms together. It grew from a tiny sapling. Look at a giant sequoia, right? It takes, I don't know, maybe depending on how. I think the largest one takes, like, I don't know, 20 people to put their arms around, in a link, in a chain around the tree, right? The base of the tree. Okay, so, but yet that giant sequoia or redwood, thousands of years ago, probably, I don't know, it's probably a couple thousand years old, right? Or whatever, during the time of Christ, maybe. It grew from a tiny little sapling, tiny little branch, or sapling, right? We call it sapling. Okay. So another meaning is that all large things started as very small things. That's the nature. That's the Tao. That's the nature. Okay. We say that's nature. Okay. That's the flow of nature. Okay. So that's external. Okay. We talked about that's the external side, the tree. Now, personal level, that's the internal side. Similar to previous sections about dealing with things when they're still small, but now about great accomplishments. Okay. So now he's talking about great accomplishments now. He's switching gears, but using the same metaphor, same idea, same concept, right? Okay. Same line of thinking. It's that great accomplishments at the personal level are achieved through small little achievements. Okay, step by incremental. Okay, so further understanding is great achievements start out with small achievements. Okay, so that's what great accomplishments start out with small achievements. Okay, so let's deal with the next 2 phrases. Okay, phrase 3, third and fourth phrase, which is that a tower of 9 levels starts from an earth heap. Okay, and 9 just means that it's a metaphor for very tall, for being, tall stories. Okay, so a tall tower begins from a heap of earth. Okay, that's just, literal translation and very, external. Okay, very material. Okay, so another illustration of how large things, in this case a tall tower, began from something very insignificant, which is just a mound of earth, right? A heap of earth. Okay, so this is the external side. Okay, external. Okay. Now let's talk about the personal level. Okay, personal level. Great accomplishments do not happen suddenly. They don't just happen all of a sudden. Okay, snap of the fingers. They are achieved from increments of small accomplishments over time, right? Baby steps, all right? So here it is. Small accomplishments can accumulate to become great achievements. Okay, so that's the key. All right, that's the key understanding. Okay, or key teaching. All right. Okay. All right. God. Okay. Now let's talk about the last two phrases or the third line. Okay, third line, last two phrases. Okay. Okay, which is the journey 1,000 miles begins from beneath the feet. Okay, so yeah, li. Okay, just understand this. This is a Chinese measure word. Li means literally it means it's a length of about 500 meters or roughly 1/3 of a mile. Okay, all right, that's what it means. So we translate as 1,000 miles because in the English that's the most most common. It's it's kind of difficult to translate. Say, oh, 1/3 of a kilometer, or sorry, 1/3 of a mile or half a kilometer. Okay, all right. So anyway, all right. So basic meaning is this: a long journey. That's 1,000 miles. Okay, whatever. Okay. A long journey begins from where one's feet is standing. Okay, so now there's an interesting story behind this line, but I don't want to talk about the deal. You guys can look it up. Go if you want to do it. It's often translated as this, though. Quote: "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step." Unquote. That's incorrect. Okay, so if you look up a lot of translations of the Tao Te Ching on chapter 64, you're gonna find this translation a lot. Okay, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one's feet. This line does not mean a long journey begins with one step. That's not what it means. Okay, so yeah, just be careful. There's a nuance, okay, to it. Okay, and here it is. Okay, so what it is this: it's that the bottom of one's feet, because that's the literal translation, begins from beneath the feet. Okay, or the bottom of one's feet, means that all undertakings, like a long journey, right? Like a long journey of 1,000 miles, starts right where we are standing. That's from the bottom of one's feet. All great undertakings start from something insignificant, like the small piece of ground below one's feet. Okay, that's what it means. Okay, it doesn't mean to take one step, okay, or one small step or one first step. It doesn't mean that. Okay, so that's very important. All right, to understand, because once you understand this notion, then you'll appreciate this chapter or what Lao Tzu is trying to talk about, okay, or trying to convey. All right. So the further understanding is that a great accomplishment, like that journey of 1,000 miles, starts from this place, from where we stand or beneath our feet. Okay. That means baby steps that over time will deliver a grand result. Okay. That's what it means. Okay. So the implication is this. All right. So the implication is this: is that the large tree, right? The giant sequoia or whatever, redwood, or the tall tower of 9 levels, and the long journey of 1,000 miles are all metaphors for tiny little achievements, small steps, and things that add up to something great. So small is good because it is easier to achieve than large ones, just as it is easier to handle small problems than large problems from our previous section, from section part 1 or A of section 1, right? So this is about small progress leading to great progress over time. Remember chapter 60? Chapter 63, without difficulty, the large task of the world must be handled through the small tasks, right? All right, chapter 63, okay, we talked about it. So the key point is this, okay? All right, this section is about how small increments add up to something big, where the previous section is about handling matters while the situation is still calm, right? That's section A, okay, of section 1, part A of section 1. So this is part B of section 1, which is about how small increments, okay, can add up to something big. So it's about handling matters while the situation is still calm, while they're not yet manifested, still in development, small and not yet begun. So this section is all about accumulating small progress, one step at a time, with small accomplishments, which over time will become great achievements. Because I don't have time, I'm going to stop right here. Because we'll pick it up next week about the story of 2 monks from Sichuan, from Sichuan, okay, Sichuan province. That's a west central province in China. Okay, so it's inland. It's the keys we pick Sichuan is because it's away from the ocean, from the coast. Okay, it's pretty far away. All right. Okay. All right. So I'll stop right here for today. We have enough. We already went about 75. Okay. So and we'll finish this chapter next week. Okay, so I'll stop for
That's
today's
okay.
class. Okay, if I said things that's wrong or improper, I ask for the Buddha's and Laozi's guidance and forgiveness and everybody's guidance. Okay, thank you, everybody. We'll stop here.